Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited. Good to see you again. I'm so glad, I'm so excited. Um I think it's over a year now. I did a teaching on the prophetic, or how to hear the voice of God. And by the special grace of God, I will try as much as possible. Excuse me. I will try as much as possible to be consistent, to teach you on how to hear the voice of God. The problem many people have is that it's not as if God is not speaking, but the question is, when God is speaking, how does He speak to me? There are peculiarities. There are people who know that, okay, this is how God speaks to me. When it comes to hearing the voice of God, there are individual differences. God may choose to speak to this person using Urim and Thummim. God may choose to speak to this person using an angel. God may choose to speak to someone by himself. So anyone who must master the art of hearing the voice of God must try to know and understand what God uses to communicate with him the more. I've seen people who told me that God spoke to them so many times using scripture. So many of them. So you need to know the area that God uses to communicate to you. So I'm going to be mentioning them to you. Even in your prophetic ministration, God can use any of this avenue to minister to you in your prophetic ministration. So when you see people manifesting in the prophetic, it is not, they do not oftentimes hear the audible voice of God. So you don't say, okay, maybe they are hearing audible voice of God. There is a conversion. There is a state where you convert what God told you into a message that you will give to somebody. You convert it. You convert messages that come in form of images to spoken word that come now to people as a prophetic word. Messages that come in form of symbol. All right, I'm already mentioning them already. Messages that come in form of symbols, messages that come in form of signs, messages that, so you are the one that will now convert it. All right, just like the radio, where you tune in your radio and you are getting music, you are getting news. The wave is being converted to entertainment. The wave is being converted to news. So if you want to flow in the prophetic, or you want to flow in disseminating the voice of God to people with so much precision and accuracy, you need to know the avenue through which God uses to communicate to you, and you must know how to do the conversion. Now, this is where many people miss it. When you convert it wrongly, you miss it. When you convert it wrongly, you miss it. What God uses to communicate to you today, that says a particular message, God may decide to use that thing to communicate to you tomorrow, and the thing will not mean another message. That's why some people miss it in the prophetic. The message now, but God has used this thing to communicate to me before. What has happened? So God can use the same thing to communicate different messages to you. You must pay attention to that. Excuse me. All right, so there are avenues that God can use to communicate to you. You can use scripture. The Bible is very, very important. I remember we were praying for a church land. My wife was praying along with me, and the Lord gave her a scripture. While she was studying and praying, she saw a scripture: I have given you the land. She immediately stopped and told me, she said, baby, God has said it. God said He has given us the land. We're actually praying for a land, and she saw it. Can you see how God spoke that day? But many times, many of you, why trusting God for something? You saw a scripture. That was God intending to use the scripture to communicate to you. You were just reading, you just saw the logos. You didn't know that God was communicating Rhema to you. So she was able to see. She wrote the date. She said, baby, today God has given us the church land. And guess what? I think 1 or 2 months later, we got a church land. God spoke to us using scripture. So as you are praying and trusting God for something, you should also pay attention. God can use scripture to communicate to you. Many times God has used scripture to minister to people through me prophetically, and it came to pass. Yeah, God gave me scripture. He spoke to me about people using scripture, and I ministered to them. This is what God is saying, and the word came to pass. Because God can decide what to use to communicate to people per time, but you must not stick to one avenue, one channel. God can use anyone, and that's why you have to be sensitive. You have to be vast. You have to be open. Because you don't know where and how God is going to speak to you. So God speaks through the scripture. I've done a video related to this before, but this one I'm expatiating it so that you will have clearer understanding. Number 2, God speaks through holy vessels. God speaks through holy vessels. This is you having a conversation with someone that is spiritually mature, and God is speaking to you directly. Let me cite an example. Some years ago, about 16, 17 years ago, I had a friend who bought a car who was intimidating me with his car. The intimidation was much. So I met this man of God. We met in the program. So while we were having conversation, he said to me, he said he has a gift. And one of the gifts he has is that he is able to speak the mind of people to them without prophesying. Wow. My brothers and sisters, I have never seen a gift like that in my entire life. I didn't get his number. We lost contact. We met only once. He said the gift God gave to him is that he's able to tell people their mind during conversation. I have never met this guy before. When someone who operates with the gift of word of knowledge is telling you something like this, you know that, my brothers and sisters, as we were talking, this guy started talking. He said, okay, now, if you have a pastor friend that buys a car, he's intimidating. I say, what is this? This guy was telling me, we're discussing, he said, this is one of the gifts he enjoys. He has never met me before. This guy was telling me this thing in my very eye. It was crazy. It was crazy. So God can speak to you through holy vessels. He can use people to speak to you. All right? Another way is that God uses angels. I remember when an angel walked into my room. That was about 6-7 years ago. I was invited for a program. I lodged in the hotel. I'm not talking about dream. I'm talking about physical encounter I had with an angel. So I checked into the hotel. I lied down. I wanted to rest before my program. And when I opened my eye, I saw an angel standing physically in my room, in between the bed and the wall, and the place was tight. The size was not like human being. Very huge. Out of fear, I lost the encounter, because while he was standing, he was having a scroll in his hand. When he saw that I was afraid, he disappeared, and the Lord spoke to me. I sent him with a message for you, but because you are afraid, excuse me, I sent him with a message for you, but because you are afraid, he left. I now remember, that is why when the angel appeared in the Bible to people, they always say, fear not. Can you get me water, please? Thank you. Sorry. So whenever the angel appeared, he always told people, do not be afraid. That was the day I knew it. Do not be afraid. So angels can visit people. You can have angelic visitation. Listen to me. Angelic visitation is still valid. It's not old-fashioned. They can still visit you. They can still visit you. All right? So again, God communicates through vision and dream. Vision and dream. See, it is very, don't joke with your dream. There are things I have seen in my dream that came to pass. Do not joke with your dream. Okay, a few days ago, I had a vision. In a vision, I saw a member of our church who lost somebody, like somebody dies. And quickly I went to our church group and I made a post. Everybody fast tomorrow, do this prayer, pray against death, and I gave them Bible verse. Thank you so much. All right. So I went there because it was in a vision. It was an open vision. I went there, I told them, fast, pray against death. I gave them scripture to read. The next day, one of our members' child was at the... I didn't even know the child was sick. The child was sick, terribly sick. They rushed the baby to the hospital the next day, and the doctor said if they had not come, the baby would have died. Do you know why? The baby was saved because of vision. Somebody saw. And when we talk about vision, we are talking about the ability to see beyond the natural. Do you know that we have open vision? A situation where your eyes are open, you see things. And to be able to flow in this vision, you must be able to understand signs and symbols. You must be able to understand when God speaks through images. Very important. So, I share that. If I did not see that, I would have lost the baby. So God speaks through vision. God speaks through dream. And that's why you must do everything in your capacity not to ignore the dreams you see. If God sees that you prioritize your dream and you take them seriously, He will show you more things. So one of the ways to show to God that you value what He shows to you in your dream. This I have done for many years. Get a dream book. When you see anything, you have any message, write it down. When God sees that you prioritize it, He will show you more. The next one is your prophetic instinct. I have done a video on that topic. Prophetic instinct is the ability to know something. You know it. You can't explain it, but you know it. You know this guy is lying to you. You didn't hear God say, this guy is lying. You know this guy is lying to you. You didn't see any vision that this guy is lying. But you just know something within you knows that this is it. It is called prophetic instinct. I work with that a lot. The ability to know people. The ability to know things. Prophetic instinct. God can use that avenue to speak and communicate to you. I don't know if that has ever happened to you. You can drop in the comment section. The ability to know something. You just know it. People ask you, how did you know it? You say, I don't know, but I just knew it. It is called prophetic instinct. All right. Another point is events, happenings, things that happen around. God can speak to you through events. There's this guy that just died. Before he went for that journey that he never returned, I listened to his friend narrating how did it happen. They said there was a heavy rain. There was a heavy rain. The rain was supposed to stop him from going. Because what they wanted to do it outside. It was an event that was happening outside. They called him for many times, like 20 times. He will pick, sometimes he will not pick. That was God giving him sign. But he still went, and guess what? He never came back. So this was God speaking to him through an event, through the happenings around. So God can speak to you through events. So when things are happening, you pay attention. Let me cite this example. One of our members was traveling from Lagos and she wanted to use a public vehicle. She got a seat, she paid. So when she called me for prayer, she got out of the car. They gave her seat to somebody else. And when she came back, she said, Madam, I have been on this seat. I just went to make a call. The man have said, I'm not coming out again, I have paid and I have paid. If you want to go, join the second turn vehicle. God gave her wisdom. She did not argue. She dropped her load and got out of the car. And they parked there and took the next vehicle. What happened? While they were coming, the vehicle that left before them, the one she was supposed to enter, that one that she was, what happened? Something mysterious happened. When I say mysterious, something mysterious happened. There was an accident that happened of that vehicle, that same vehicle. Everybody in the vehicle died, including that woman that took her seat. This was God speaking to her through events, through the happenings around. So pay attention. Remember, when you see happenings around, it's not all the event that you see that means that God doesn't want you to go. In some cases, it may mean that if you go, it will yield good results, and the devil does not want you to go. That is why spiritual sensitivity is very important here. Because what God uses to communicate to you, do not go here. There is danger here today. Tomorrow, God may use it to communicate to you. Go. The devil is trying to stop you from going. I don't know if you understand. God is using rain to tell you don't go today. Tomorrow, it may be the devil trying to stop you from going, because if you go, there may be good news. Can you see that now? The ability to dissect, to know the happenings, the events. And that takes me to this explanation. You must be able to use your prophetic instinct to interpret the event and the happenings that are happening around you. If you do not have prophetic instinct, you are still going to make mistake. You will misunderstand it. You will misunderstand it. You will now see when God is telling you not to go, you say it's the devil that does not want me to go. And when God is saying, don't go, you are saying, no, I won't go. Because, I don't know if you understand, you must use your prophetic instinct to be able to understand the happenings and the events around you when God is using them to communicate to you. So God uses signs and symbols. Signs. I have done a video on that topic, understanding prophetic signs, prophetic code, signs and symbols. I have done a video. I'll drop the link in the description of this video. All right? You will understand that better. Then, peace. God speaks using peace. You can see that in the book of Psalm 85 verse 8. God speaks using what? Peace. He will give you peace. You will have peace of mind. If you don't have peace of mind, you're about to make a decision, you don't have peace of mind, there's fear of unknown. God is not there. God is indirectly speaking to you. That is out of it. Did you find value from this video? Subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop any video. And once again, you can drop a comment. If you've had experiences, you can drop a comment. You have a question, drop a question, your question. I'll be answering you in the comment section. God bless you. Bye bye.